Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Terror. As usual, I'm your host, Jacob Harper.
And I'm your co-host Ariani.
And I'm the other co-host, Ryan.
Yes, we have Ryan here. I was telling him I want him on the show more because he's awesome. So we're bringing him in for more terror talk. Uh, First and foremost, apologies to our audience. It has been a hot minute since we've done an episode. We've been on a bit of a hiatus. Summer was a lot busier than we anticipated. But we're back. We're back and better than ever, I would say. Got some great stuff lined up for, especially for spooky season on the horizon, and we are now in August, so we are kind of in the preseason. I don't know sports terms, but it's like the football games before you start really caring about them. That's where we're in right now for horror. That's
Except
what
we don't
I'd
have a
say.
draft for horror. That's not a
I
thing.
know. Oh, that'd be a fun episode. Do like a fantasy football draft for horror or
Like base
something.
it on box office. I'd win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I always overestimate. I'm always so biased. I'm like, yeah, my movie that I love is gonna win. It doesn't.
I have a bookmark that goes to Box Office Mojo, so
Oh, hell yeah.
I can compete with you on
I will say
that.
when it comes to horror, I have been pretty good at guessing Oscars because I walked out of The Substance. I didn't walk out of The Substance. I waited till the movie was over. I loved The Substance. When the movie ended, I walked out of the theater and I was like, if a horror movie wins an Oscar this year, it's going to be that one. And then it did. And then I did the same with Sinners. I did not admittedly do the same with Weapons. I loved Weapons, but I was like, that's not gonna get an Oscar because like,
Speaking of things that deserve Oscars, though, we do have Resident Evil coming out this fall.
yes,
That's
give
gonna deserve
Cregger,
Oscars.
give Zach Cregger his Oscar and Austin Abrams too.
I guess technically he already got an Oscar because Weapons.
True. Well, wasn't it just
It's like a win for the whole movie. I mean,
it
obviously
is.
it
It
is.
is. Yeah. No, I mean, it would definitely go on my resume if I was Cregger. I'd be like, yeah, Oscar-winning movie. But
Casted
speaking,
Oscar-winning actress.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. Speaking though of Resident Evil, we are back and we are ready to do another franchise retrospective, I guess, because we are, as you can tell, we are all very pumped for Zach Cregger's Resident Evil. So Ryan had the idea to go through all the Resident Evil movies, all I believe seven, right?
Yes, there is six of the main story, and then you have the one extra that's like its own universe thing. Um, and they're all fun but awful. You know what I mean? It's like the Mortal Kombat movies of the 90s, but for the 2000s. So y'all are in for a fun ride.
Oh man, yeah. So we all watched the first one, the first Resident Evil from 2002, right? That's what,
Yep,
2002. We all
2002.
watched that this week. I watched it today, so it'd be fresh in my mind. Uh, I guess we'll just open up the floor here. What did everyone think of Resident Evil 2002?
Well, for starters, have y'all played the original Resident Evil? Just out of curiosity.
I have
Yeah.
not. Oh, Yanni
But like
has. I have
it's
not.
so you know it's nothing like the movie. Just from the comparison, is that the
Oh,
first time you'd seen the movie?
Yeah, I would say, well, it's my first time watching it. I have played the original trilogy and Resident Evil Zero, and honestly, it was a lot different. There was a lot of deviations from the plot. But Jacob, what about you?
I've never played the original Resident Evil. I admittedly I remember playing Resident Evil 5 as a kid. But really not like being so into the lore. It was just like I'm shooting zombies because I liked shooting zombies.
Hmm.
Um,
As you do.
but yeah, no, exactly. I didn't really start getting into like Resident Evil like as a fan until Biohazard. So I'm kind of a late comer to the franchise. But even like what little things I do know about the original games, even when I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, they wanted to make an action zombie movie, and they're like, you know what, let's kind of just grab this IP and cipher off of that and use that as the vehicle for our action movie thriller, and we'll throw in some zombies, which was still cool. The zombies were cool, so it wasn't like I don't feel like it discounted too much from the zombie killing goodness that you'd expect from a Resident Evil movie. But from the very beginning, I was like, this is very high tech, very like early 2000s action thriller stuff. Oh, zombies.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting is the movies did have a draw to them. Like, I mean, they all made profit, I believe, which you might have to check on that. But also, like the in this first Resident Evil, they established the Red Queen, part of the Umbrella Corp, right? And
Hmm.
that is not in the games at the time this movie came out. But eventually, and you might need to fact check me on this, but eventually, one of the Resident Evil games has the Red Queen brought into it. So it's like the movie created the character, and eventually the games decided to use it too. So like these movies did have an audience and did have a poll when it
Hmm.
came to both like the game franchise, the comics, and the movie series. So it's like
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
all types of things like that. Sorry, there's a lot to say, but
no, yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting, and I did just while you were talking, I did just Google it. The 2002 movie did make a fairly significant profit. It grossed 103 million on a 33 million dollar budget. Um, I mean, that's definitely not nothing, and I mean, obviously, like it had to have made some money because there's six others.
well, and that was the thing of as it went on in the franchise, it actually made less in the US and more in Japan. Japan just loved these movies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. And let me check the box office on that to be certain, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was. And maybe not less, but they got America got lower, Japan stayed consistent. Yeah, it Japan heavily outperformed the United States for the live action Resident Evil movie franchise. Japan routinely served as the highest grossing or second highest individual country market globally, often earning 35 to 40 million per late sequel. So
Damn.
like Japan just loved these movies.
They showed up for this.
Yeah, and they still released it in the US, obviously, but it was just
Yeah,
significantly less of an audience by the end of this franchise.
man. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it had an audience because I feel like a lot of video game movies back then, especially back then, were kind of just like a constant swing and miss. Maybe that's just me like growing up after the fact and looking back and seeing all the like YouTube videos about like oh look how bad oh look how bad the 90s Mario movie was. I don't know. Maybe back in
Doom was
yeah,
awful.
yeah, Doom. It's like maybe back then they made a profit for the time. I don't know if they did, but just like looking at it at a lot of these in retrospective, it was like wow, people really didn't like this. So it's interesting to see that Resident Evil was like a pretty decent, you know, a pretty decent box office turnout, at least consistently with the because it's only three movies in the original timeline, right?
E, I
Or,
don't actually
or
know that part.
or is it all
I thought all
one?
six were one timeline,
Okay.
and then the seventh is like its own thing.
And
And
seven is
then
Welcome to
this
Raccoon
one, no
City,
one's
right?
sure if it's going to be its own thing or part of the other stuff.
Dude, I've gotten so used to like things being connected to other things in movies, like the post credit scenes and like fan culture that I
Yeah.
half expected. Like in the ending, I guess spoilers for, for Resident Evil
Yeah, there's
2002.
seven, by the way.
Yeah.
I just checked.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess spoiler warning for Resident Evil 2002, the movie we're reviewing. There's gonna be spoilers. But at the end of the movie, I half expected when she walks outside to Raccoon City, uh, for her to like see like the cop car and it'd be like a guy would get out and he'd be like, "I'm Leon Kennedy, come with me," and then be oh, to be continued. Leon Kennedy will return in Resident Evil. What's the sequel called?
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2.
But
Yeah, it's
Apocalypse is what the second movie is called.
Apocalypse. Yeah. I have expected that to be the case because that's kind of just what you expect now with IP driven movies and fan culture. You expect that kind of fan servicey stuff. Not that like following the story is inherently fan culture. I mean, I feel like you kind of walk a tightrope with being original and still appealing to the source material. Yanni, as someone who has recently played the original Resident Evil games, what like kind of how does it shake up in the movie adaptation? Like big
To
and small
me,
differences.
I mean, the movie played just like the games, I would say. If you're thinking of like if you go into the movie and you know that the original crew is not going to be there and it's all original characters, I thought it was pretty good.
Mhm. Fair.
Yeah, I really like this first one. This first one is definitely I mean, the seventh one's good. but eventually when we do watch that one, you'll see why it's not good for the reasons you'd think. But like this first one's genuinely a good movie.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much I ended up enjoying it. I mean, it's very early 2000s through like everything, like especially the editing. Like there were some parts that were edited, and I was like, I know we always credit Saw for this fast-paced, choppy editing, and this came out the same, no, a year before Saw, right? 2003, or was Saw
No,
2002?
Saw was '04,
Saw was 04. That's right. Saw was
I
04.
believe. Or am
So
I gaslighting you? Let's check.
this comes up, yeah.
It's 2004.
Yeah, no, I was like, that sounded right. But it's like, so Resident Evil came out 2 years before Saw, and there's a few little moments that have that what I call just Saw style editing, where it's very choppy and fast paced. Things are being rewounded and fast forwarded in a matter of like zero point 0.2 seconds. And I was like, oh yeah, there's that 2000s editing we all know and love.
Well, and the crazy thing is like this movie, like did y'all look into this director's filmography?
I did
Because
not.
it's really mind blowing. Because this guy had like a consistent pattern of the types of movies he would make, and it all makes sense when you see two of these back to back. Resident Evil, Alien versus Predator. You know the opening sequence in Resident Evil where he goes through the map and it's like the weird visuals and you're seeing the
Mhm.
lab? They do the same thing in Alien versus Predator.
Oh hell yeah.
Same guy, same thing. You know what other movie he did? Mortal Kombat.
Oh, what, the new one or the old
The
one?
90s one. So he
Okay.
also did like two video game movies in the same decade. Um, and then he did, and this is the craziest one, Event Horizon. This is the guy who made Event Horizon.
Oh shit.
So you when you see his whole filmography in laid out like that, you're like, wow, this editing style is consistently across everything he's ever made.
Also, I just Googled Paul W.S. Anderson and it shows his movies. And you know, on Google, it's like the people also ask, you
Mm.
know, the top one is the top people who also ask is, has Paul W.S. Anderson ever made a good movie? That's really mean, Google. Come on.
I love Mortal
I don't
Kombat.
condone that.
I'm a defender of Mortal Kombat, the movie. The OG.
I need to rewatch it. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that one. I remember thinking it was cool.
But
And
yeah, now that's gonna blow your mind whenever you go back and watch Alien versus Predator.
also, according to Google, it looks like Paul W.S. Anderson directed about every single one of these movies,
Yep.
except for, I mean, except for, seven.
Yeah, Raccoon City.
Yeah. Which
Well,
honestly, I know we're still so early on in this retrospective, but I'm so hyped to get to Welcome to Raccoon City because
it's
that
really
is,
fun.
yeah, I hope it is because that is a Johann Roberts movie. I really dig a lot of his filmography. The stuff of his that I have seen, I
Hmm.
found myself really enjoying. Like The Strangers Pray at Night, I adore that movie. I actually interviewed him for Primate, which was a really good movie to come out back in January, and also he's really nice. And also 47 Meters Down, I really dug. I admittedly haven't seen the sequel, but I mean the first one I really liked. So far, like Johann Roberts has done no wrong, but apparently Resident Evil fans have tended to disagree with that notion. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, Resident Evil 2002.
I want to go over the plot.
Yeah, let's go into the plot.
All right. So, like we said, it opens with that shot where you're going through the vents, and it's that shitty '90s, like early 2000s CGI that you can't help but be charmed by.
Hmm.
But that's when we see that whole T virus shattering and basically sending this entire building into chaos. I really like this sequence. I don't know how y'all are feeling when you're watching it, because obviously this is the cold open and this is gonna, set the tone for the rest of the movie. But I feel like it's
Hmm.
such a different tone than everything else. So I'm curious what y'all think.
I liked it. I mean, like I said, there's that kind of crappy 90s CGI at times. And you see that a little bit in the other movie because it's like there's some shots of like the various monsters and zombies that are like really cool practical effects. And there's a few shots where it's like so clearly CGI and you're like, oh, okay, well, this was 2002. That's okay. But no, yeah, I dug the opening and I liked the vent and just like the whole laboratory just being killed. I thought that was cool. So yeah, I dug it.
Yeah, same. Honestly, my favorite parts about the Resident Evil games are always the laboratory parts, and like seeing the T virus was really cool and seeing it break, and seeing them like kill all the employees. Like it's great that they established the fact that Umbrella does not give a fuck about its employees. Like they never did. So
I'd like to think that this is one of those sequences where someone would be writing something down, and then in the game, if you were to come upon this place, you would have read all about this. And I think that was one thing that I thought they captured very well in this opening. Is it did just kind of feel slice of life, even though that slice of life is the cold, corporation building. But
Hmm.
still, I think it's a good way to capture what lore in the games try and do for you as you're walking through.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree on that slice of life comment because there's that part in the opening where the guy's walking into work and he gets some coffee spilled on him. And he's like, oh, shucks, another day at the office. And you're like, this guy works for the most evil corporation in all of fiction. And it's still just like, oh, man, just Mondays, am I right? Before just all hell breaks loose. Uh, one thing I was kind of like, I wish they did in the open. It's during that opening text and narration. They go through, oh, the Umbrella Corporation is this, and they're one of the biggest companies, and they do genetic testing and all this stuff. It says all that in a really good narration, and then it shows the title Resident Evil. I wish they had the narrator say the name Resident Evil, just like how in some of the old games when you hit the start button, Resident Evil.
Yeah, and it's
I
like
was like,
right in your ear
man,
too.
yeah, and it's like,
Resident Evil.
it's like that would have been such a cherry on top of that opening title sequence, but it was like whatever. My very minor nerdy complaint, but it's like, oh, come on. You could have
I
got
would
the
have
narrator
liked
in the voice
if,
booth for another 5 seconds.
yeah, right, or just use the voice line from the game.
Yeah.
I like the part in the movie where they go, "Wow, this is the Resident Evil," and then they get attacked. That was my favorite part, I think.
These residents are evil.
These
Title card.
residents are evil. Boom. And it's like Invincible. It says these Resident Evil.
Yeah. She gets out from the mansion at the end of the movie and it pans to that newspaper and it's like Raccoon City residents have gone evil, and then that's where you drop the title card.
But speaking of that mansion, that's where our protagonist wakes up. Alice,
Yeah.
played by, how do you say her name? Mia? No. Yeah, no, no. Mila Jovovich. Mila Jovovich is how you say it. But that's Alice, the lead that we follow this whole film. And she
Mhm.
just wakes up with amnesia, like that 5 Seconds of Summer song we were all obsessed with.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool little detail to have her kind of like figuring out because I feel like there are a lot of mystery elements in Resident Evil, and you do kind of feel like you're like she does kind of feel like a good, you know, avatar for a video game player where you don't have a lot of context and you're trying to figure things out. Much more than the average like movie character that's supposed to be kind of the stand-in for the audience. I feel like that plot device worked really well for this type of adaptation. So I like the amnesia plot there. And also, as you were reading her name, I like just looked back over on Paul W.S. Anderson's Google page. He's married to Mia.
No.
Yeah, they got married in
Mila,
2009.
oh, that's crazy.
Mila,
Mila and
yeah,
him are married?
yeah,
Like, still?
yeah. I think so.
That's
They're
kind of a
still together.
badass. Just put your wife in every movie and you're both employed for the next decade. Like, that's kind of genius.
What's it? They got married in 2009, so they're already like probably halfway through these movies when they got married.
You basically Rob Zombied it for the rest of them.
Yeah.
We have to keep her in. Don't ask why.
That's a real like test to like if you can marry someone, if you could be on a film on like four of these movies with them, go through four of these very intense movies with them, it's like okay, yeah, we can get married.
I will say though, I was a little disappointed that we don't get more with this mansion and that it all kind of takes place in the lab just because that first game is so heavily spent in the mansion, which I know is
Mhm.
a silly nitpick because as you'll see in the seventh movie, that kind of like enclosed space doesn't always work well for the story. Um, so I don't know. How did y'all feel about the setting of it all? Because we really don't spend much time in this mansion before they're going over to the lab already.
I liked the different set pieces. I think that was one of my favorite parts of the movie actually was the various sets because you have the lab and then when they're going through like the pipe areas and then you get to kind of the heart of the AI, just all the different they're it's weird because they're both kind of they're both like very like intense and extravagant but still being minimalist and it felt very cold and creepy a lot of the set pieces. So I really dug that as they kind of traverse through, the laboratories, just the way they're lit and just yeah, they just looked cool. The set pieces were cool. I don't know, maybe it's just like I'm like wow, and this they were all shooting on like location. They had to build this and it looked cool.
They actually killed them with those lasers.
They did. Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about the laser scene.
But I was a little disappointed as well, like Ryan. It was a good nod to the first game, but then,
Mhm.
suddenly she gets like kidnapped with her husband. And then honestly, it reminded me a little bit about like Resident Evil 2, the remake, because like you're barely in the RPD before you're transitioning to the laboratory and the rest of the sections.
I can see that actually. I didn't even think about that because yeah, he would have by this point been pulling from all the games before. Because what, three would have been out by this point, I think. I'll check.
Mhm.
Not the movie. Oh, it was the year. Yeah, I think three was out by this point.
Yeah, so he had a lot to pull from, and it was just like, yeah, we're just gonna do it all in the labs.
Yeah, which is kind of I guess what Zach Cregger's doing now.
Well, I like how Zach Cregger looks like it's just gonna be again. It goes back to that what I was just saying about uh our main character in this one is how she does a really good job from both the performance and writing standpoint of being like an avatar for a like the audience or the player in this case. And I feel like Zach Cregger is doing the same thing with Austin Abrams here. It's like here's just a normal guy that's getting thrown into the pits of hell,
With
which is
armor
also
moving
kind
down.
of yeah, which is also kind of how like the newer Resident Evil games have been, which I think is why I really like it because Ethan and like the new age Resident Evil stuff is just like a regular guy who loves his wife and is going through the worst circumstances imaginable to get to her.
Yeah,
But
has to fight a dragon.
oh my god, dude, I love Resident Evil Village, dude. All the
It's so
monsters.
good. So good. But
It did
yes.
really.
Oh, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna start talking about the laser scene.
Oh yeah, well I was just do you want to let's go to the part where they first get into the hive. Because
Oh
I feel like it's
yeah,
this
duh.
weird train system. If I remember correctly, it was this
Yeah.
weird looking train system. I don't even remember knowing what kind of hallway they're in, but I think it was for trains, right?
No, it was, and there's that scene where, uh, uh, what was his name in the movie? Let me double check. He was like the
I know I
lead
didn't take notes.
soldier
I've
dude.
seen this
I
so
left
many
my
times. I'm like,
I left my notebook at my place, and I watched this when I was at my parents' place.
uh,
So I was just like, I hope I remember all this stuff. It was one Colin Salmon.
salmon, like the fish.
Yeah, actually, exactly like the fish. But yeah, his name is one. I don't know why I didn't remember his name in the movie. But like the lead military guy when he's explaining where the hive is and you get that like CGI you get that
Yeah, they
CGI
bring the CGI
visual.
back.
Yeah, it's like here's the mansion and then here's you go to these underground tunnels and then there's a train and now we're in the labs and then we have to go to the hive and I was like oh my god, how hard are
It's
they
cool.
hiding this laboratory?
So good.
I get they're an evil like corporation conducting like human experiments, but like you don't have to hide it this good.
And also, how'd they hide it that deep in the in a city? You know?
Yeah, does Raccoon City not have subway cars? Like I feel
No,
like that
they
would
do because
fit
in
it.
Resident Evil
They do.
2 or 3, they're stuck on a subway car for one section.
Which how did I don't know. How did the Raccoon City subway system not interfere with the Hive labs being
Funny.
built? Yeah, they paid off. They paid off Big Subway. Big Subway doesn't want you to know about this.
Raccoon City lobbyists, man.
Shit, probably, man. Also, this doesn't happen until like, well, no, it does happen around this scene. When he says Raccoon City for the first time, he says raccoon.
Raccoon City.
He,
He's like
he just
British. No.
he just says it in such a. I was like, okay.
He's
I don't,
like
is that
fancy. Okay.
do a lot of people pronounce raccoon raccoon?
I bet that's like an East Coast thing. You know, how it's
Maybe,
like we
yeah,
have, I don't even know how you describe that, but you know what I'm talking about, where like East Coast has
yeah.
a slightly different, who knows?
There's
But
a
yeah,
raccoon eating
so
garbage in my garage.
they have to like go through all these little trials to get into the hive, and this is the scene y'all really like, which I also like it too. But
Oh yeah, the lasers. Yeah, that. Oh yeah, that part I was excited to talk about like 5 seconds ago. Yeah, that one. No,
I
it
was just
was
setting
cool
you up.
because
I was balling it to you.
I totally missed it. I don't have any coordination for that. I was like, missed that one. But yeah, the laser scene in that tunnel, I think it was just because it was so unexpected. Because I guess like high tech disintegrating lasers aren't really what I think of when I think of Resident Evil. So the whole time I'm like just waiting for like the zombies and the mutations to show up, and then they just hit you with this crazy James Bond stuff. And I was like, oh shit. But then when it went through the girl's neck and you see they do that panning shot and you see the blood like coming down and then I was like, oh, cool, cool shit. I don't care if it's doesn't make sense or whatever. It's cool. Rule of cool. It doesn't have to make sense for it to be cool.
It was pretty
Uh,
cool.
yeah, right. And then like that one dude tries to jump over the laser and it goes up with him and splits him in half. I was like, dude, this shit is overpowered, man. What do you mean you can't jump over the laser? It'll just like move with your body.
And it wiped like half the team.
Yeah, yeah,
Like from the rest of this onward, it's like what, four of them? Three of them?
yeah. No, because I really thought one was gonna be our main military protagonist. And then he almost gets the door open, and then the laser turns into like an intricate hive pattern to cut every part of his body and split him into like a million pieces. I'm like, dude, what the hell? We just lost like a third of our team in one sequence.
And like
It
one of
felt,
the best characters too.
yeah, he was
I
cool. I
agree.
was, I was like, I want him to live, and then he just he got taken apart.
But yeah, so they get by that. And after they disable the power, that's when all those little monsters start getting out. And we see the lickers for the first time, which I
Woo!
think were very accurate to the games. I think that's one of my favorite parts of
Yes,
this movie in comparison to the games. It's like I know it's 90s or I guess 2000s CG, but it's just like it's so gross and I love it. It's so good.
yeah, no, I agree. The liquors were cool when it showed up. I was like, perfection.
What's like y'all's well, what did you feel about that? Sorry, I was gonna
Oh
jump to a
no,
different question.
I thought it was awesome seeing the liquor. I did not know they were as popular as they were until I started playing like Resident Evil 2 and then like seeing the subreddit. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially being the first movie too, because it wasn't at the time like they were cool, but I think like you said, it was more recent
Mhm.
pop up with the remake. Which like what would be your favorite? What is y'all's favorite Resident Evil since y'all played most of the franchise or at least a good chunk of it?
Jacob, you go first. I'm still thinking.
Oh, I was gonna say mine's really simple because I haven't played like a fair amount of them. Mine is Resident Evil Village. Just because
Fair.
I love how it's just every mythological beast and monster and cryptid that's ever been written down in folklore is probably in that game. And they are dialed up to 11 in terms of how fucking terrifying they are.
True.
So yeah, big Resident Evil Village fan. Someone please make a Resident Evil Village movie. Please and thank you. Yanni?
My favorite would have to be Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 0. A lot of people hate Resident Evil 0, but I love it because I like Rebecca.
Oh yeah. Are you excited for what is it? No, never mind. That's a different character. I was gonna say Code Veronica, but that's not
Oh
any
yeah, that's getting a
affiliation.
remake.
Is that's not affiliated with Rebecca, is it? I thought it
I
was.
don't think so.
No, whole separate character. I'm not as good on my Resident Evil lore as I used to be.
What about you, Ryan? What's your favorite Resident Evil?
Um, I think seven because it's the one that got me into Resident Evil. I
Mhm.
was more of a recent Resident Evil player within like the COVID years because I played seven when I first got my PC, and then COVID hit, and I was like, well, now I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. So I played all the Resident Evils. And so yeah, I think seven's my favorite just because it's my first one.
Fair. Seven's a good one.
Hmm. And I also used to play on an iPad I had that had Resident Evil 4 on it. So I would play Resident Evil 4 on the iPad sometimes.
iPad kid.
Exactly.
Oh man. Yeah, but the clicker showing up was cool. Um, and yeah, I was surprised as well. I was like, oh hey, we have this very iconic creature from the games showing up in the first movie. That's cool. It's like if this were made today, they would wait until like the last minute of the movie to be like, oh, the liquor shows up for 5 minutes.
And it will return in the next one.
Yeah, which I was they do kind of, and I'll get to it when we get towards the ending. They do kind of do a similar thing in this one. They do name drop a certain other fan favorite Resident Evil villain,
True.
and I was like, I did like the soy jack face. I was like, no, oh, I know that name.
I recognize that.
Oh,
Oh,
I
that's
played
my
Dead by Day.
buddy!
I played Dead by Daylight. I know him.
I, IP.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's the one. Which
Wait,
now I'm really hoping it shows up.
it's like jiggle, 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 jiggle.
Yeah, it was exactly that for me.
I can't find
I,
my keys. I was gonna do the bit.
I was like, I hope he shows up in Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Jiggle, 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 jiggle. Come back to the next movie.
Which honestly, I was expecting because I always knew people would. I always knew people said that they're very action heavy, and I was like, well, I don't want it to be like so action heavy that it waters down the horror.
Yeah.
The action was pretty
Which
cool.
I think the action does overtake the horror in this, but I almost like the action more because I think this
Mhm.
version of Resident Evil does action better than the games that do action, which are like five and six.
Mhm.
Which I guess four technically is action. I don't count that. Four is its own thing because it's a masterpiece. But so I think the action works for me at least.
Yeah, no, it worked out for me too because I just like
Yeah.
it was cool, and I also like how our main character is like karate chopping zombies and like one hit punching them.
Yeah, especially in this scene where there's so many, because this is when they're all getting chased down by the
Yeah,
horde.
it's a horde of them, and she's still like 1-2 punching them, like boxing with them. I
And
was
she's
like
like
this,
flying through the air.
yeah, this makes no fucking sense, but it's cool, so it's whatever.
It's so good. What happens after the horde, though? I kind of forget.
Wait, which scene with the horde? I think there's a few scenes
It's
where
like filling up the room, and they get split up.
I'm trying to remember. Because there's also I watched this on Tubi, so there were like a trillion ad breaks in between.
Classic.
Yeah, shout out to Tubi, love Tubi. But I know there was one part where some guy like totally. Oh no, there's one scene with a horde, and it's where they're in that kind of pipe area, and they're kind of breaking through like the pipe
That's what I'm
grates.
talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
That's where we're at
I'm
right now.
I'm pretty sure it's this scene where it looks like two characters are about to die, and then it cuts to the next scene, and everyone's good. Like they're all just kind of like up on the ledge. I don't know. It felt like there was like part of that scene missing. It felt like a very random cut. Unless maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but it was like two characters are like down there, and they look like they're about to die, and then it just cuts to all of them are like now on the ledge, and they're like, "Damn, a
I
lot of
can't
zombies down
remember. I
there."
thought they got him up, but I can't remember.
I know they got one up, and I feel like there was another guy down there that I don't know.
I
Maybe,
probably
maybe I
fell
just
for the
wasn't paying
editing.
close enough attention. Yeah, no, yeah, maybe. it was like right after that. Let me look for the character's name. Who's the one that?
JD. That's the guy who
No.
got killed by the zombies.
Oh yeah, JD. I was trying to remember. Rain.
Bites Rain. Yeah.
Rain was well, first off, Rain was a really cool character,
Rain was
I
and
cool.
agree.
right after that scene, she's like just standing there and she's like just drip feeding the zombies blood and taunting them. I was like, Rain is so badass, bro.
You're telling me you wouldn't do that? I'd do
No, yeah, but yeah, yeah, come get it, dumbass.
that.
And then you have that. What happened? Because I feel like the next big scene in the plot is when they're locked in that room after that one guy betrays them.
Oh, and it's filling up with water.
Well, no, it's like they can't get out. Well, is it filling up with water? I know there was water in the room, but they're
There is
talking to
definitely
the
water in it. I don't know about filling up, but
yeah, they were talking to the AI, and the AI was like, "I'll open the door for you if you kill Rain, because Rain is probably infected."
yeah.
And honestly, like the Red Queen, pretty cool antagonist, honestly.
Oh yeah. I mean, just it's peak like I mean that's the era of Cortana with Halo and stuff. It's just peak
Mhm.
robot NPC
Yeah.
that just kind of taunts you. It's great, and I like that it's evil compared to most like AI at the time that like helps the protagonist. So
Mhm. No, yeah, I really appreciate how like cold and evil and just like heartless they made it, because of course it's an AI.
yeah,
And
its job is
there's
to keep the T virus out.
yeah, and there's that scene where they're like, the Red Queen is like,
Or keep it in, I guess.
if you kill Rain because she's been bitten, if you kill her, I'll let you out. And she's like, well, there's the antivirus. We could just give her that. And the Red Queen's like, well, it might not work. And like, so there's a chance. And the Red Queen's like, I don't deal in chances. I was like, that line goes hard, unfortunately. For the evil AI, that line unfortunately goes hard. I don't deal in chances.
It's just like a more robotic, never tell me the odds from Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't take chances.
Also, it's so evil how they modeled the Red Queen out of one of the programmer's daughters or something. Was that like part of the like lore?
I can't remember. Let me see what the Red Queen was
Because
modeled off
I
of.
remember specifically they mentioned like that it looks like a little girl because it's based on someone's daughter, and I'm like, what kind of fucked up mind game is that from this corporation? We're
Yeah,
gonna use this child as the face of our like cold, unfeeling, like kill switch.
it
Like,
was
what the hell?
interface was modeled after Alicia Marcus, the daughter of Umbrella co-founder James Marcus.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's just fucked up. That's
But
just
originally
evil.
she was identified as Angela Ashford, daughter of Dr. Charles Ashford. So the movie goes for one route and the games go a different route, it seems like. I
Interesting.
can't tell if I'm reading that right, but someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. It's Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
It's Resident Evil.
I
what
know.
did you guys think about the zombie dog?
Oh, that was cool as hell.
I love the
It's
zombie
so too.
dogs.
Yeah. That's
I think
honestly so.
actually that's my favorite monster in Resident Evil.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
fair. It's a pretty ferocious looking. It just like it looks like it'd be very gross to pet, which I almost never say that about dogs in movies.
Yeah.
But it's like when you pet it, you're touching like bare like exposed flesh, and it's like, oh, Christ, that's horrible.
Disgusting.
And also, it felt like I mean, I'm a big fan of the Call of Duty Zombies games, so I was like, oh, it's like a
Mm,
Hellhound but without the fire.
yeah. I do think Welcome to Raccoon City has better looking dogs though.
Raccoon City has dogs.
Spoiler.
Let's go. The dogs have returned in Raccoon City. Somehow the
Somehow the
dogs
dogs
have
have
returned.
returned.
Yeah, I thought the dog was super cool and very very freaky looking. trying to think what my favorite creature in the movie was because the liquor looked cool. I was gonna bring up the betrayal of that one character where he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna steal the virus and run off," and then he gets immediately murdered by a liquor,
Yeah,
and they just
that's
happen to
fun.
be watching it on the TV. Like it's like the only working TV in the room, and it shows him dying, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well that,
Like there's no power anywhere else in this building except this
yeah."
one TV.
Except this one.
And they have
Uh,
like, don't they have sparks going on in this scene too? It's like so cliche 2000s,
yeah,
like
they don't
everything's
really
blowing up and going to shit.
they don't really follow their own rules that well, but it's like again, rule of cool, right?
Rule of cool. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, when he is like walking towards like the door of the like he like gets out of the laboratory, he's in the mansion,
Mhm.
and he opens the case and he puts that rubber band around his arm. I was like, oh, dude, this is about to shoot up. Oh my God. And what I thought he was gonna do, I didn't know he was gonna grab the antivirus. I thought he was gonna grab like another version of the T virus and become like a mutation or something. Because I've heard that's the
Mm.
plot in a lot of Resident Evil games. Some guy takes the T virus and becomes like a hulking monster. So I thought
Isn't that
that's
what
where our
Nemesis
big
is?
finale. No, yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was like, that's why I thought I was like, is this guy gonna be Nemesis or something? And then it was just gonna be the antivirus, and he dies anyway before you could do it. So it's like, okay. But that's where I thought
Nemesis
the
will
finale
return
was
in
leading
Doomsday.
to.
Yeah, just like
Yes,
an origin story for Nemesis.
yeah, I thought it was gonna be like that. But then at the end, when uh, she, she's about to give that dude the antivirus and the CDC, I guess CDC, I don't know, something like that. Guys in hazmat suits, the guys from the back rooms.
I was about to say the backrooms guys. Like,
Async comes in and takes them.
we're gonna have to take this to the backrooms.
Yeah. They storm in and they're like, put him in Project Nemesis. I was like,
Nemesis running around the backrooms like one of those JPEGs that people get chased by
yeah.
in Gary's mod.
Dude, why didn't the backrooms have a JPEG of Kanye running around? Not accurate to the lore.
No, I think it's very accurate. I think Kane was just scared.
Yeah, fair. Yanni,
I'm oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like, what were y'all's thoughts on the finale kind of sequence?
Um, that is pretty awesome, like Nemesis mentioned. But how do they know like who gets accepted into the Nemesis program? Like, how do they know?
I mean, I assume it's because the dude was already like showing signs of infection, and they're like, well, instead of killing him, let's utilize an infected person's body while they're still conscious
Kind of like a
to,
Last of Us type thing.
yeah, it's like let's experiment on this and see where this goes. Because a lot of the zombies are reanimated corpses. They were people that died and then were brought back with the virus. And this is a guy that like he has the virus while he's still like breathing. Okay, like let's see where this goes. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen in
That
Apocalypse.
makes
That's what
sense.
I assume the Project Nemesis thing was. But
I
but
guess we'll find out.
Ryan, without spoilers, when is Mr. X showing up in the Resident Evil movies?
I actually don't.
I don't think he does, but I mean, I want Mr. X because he's scary as fuck.
Yeah, he didn't. That's what I thought. He doesn't appear in the live action.
Oh,
All right, Cregger, you
But
have
I
your
mean,
assignment.
there is another famous character in here that was mentioned in this one.
Nemesis? Albert Wesker?
Wesker.
Yeah,
No.
Wesker. Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, but I know that guy.
Dude, if you main as Wesker in Dead by Daylight, I wish nothing but the worst for you. That's just my personal gripe. I'm always
But
getting my
yeah,
ass beat.
Nemesis is in one of the movies. I'm not gonna tell you
Oh,
which.
I bet it's Apocalypse. I hope it is because I actually did have a lot of fun with this movie.
You do what? Sorry.
I I said I hope he is in Apocalypse because now I'm kind of excited to watch Apocalypse. I was admittedly kind of like hesitant with this. I was like, oh, I've heard so many mixed things, and like video game movies from this era have kind of a bad rep. I was like, this might be kind of a drag. And then after that laser sequence, I was dialed in. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
we're cooking. Yeah.
it is just at the end of the day so fun. I mean, like I feel like most movies at the time that were action films didn't get weird sci-fi and silly shit. It was like everything was serious in this era, but I'm glad we had like Resident Evil to be that sillier action movie. So
Hmm.
I like it. I like it for what it is.
Yeah. There's also that line where the dude's pointing the gun at someone and he's like, "Don't make me shoot you. I wouldn't want to waste the bullet or something. Like I might want to save that bullet for later." And I was like, "Dude, that's such a Resident Evil mindset."
You might need that.
Especially in the later games, like you have like you maybe get like 3 bullets every like hour playing that playing those fucking
Yeah.
games. So yeah, no, I feel that I wouldn't want to shoot someone either. I might need this. Yep. Y'all have any other thoughts on Resident Evil as a film or the finale?
Not really. I think I've said my piece.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. I mean, yeah. Again, I enjoyed it way more than I expected to. One like just funny comment I thought of while watching the movie that was I
Mm.
should bring this up on the podcast is when she's looks at her wedding ring and it says like made by the Umbrella Corporation. I was like, man, that intro wasn't lying. Fucking Umbrella makes everything, bro. Wedding rings, like this is not pharmaceutical or tech or medical care needs. This is a
It's like
wedding
when the
ring.
it's like when that shoe company was like, "Now we do AI." It's like, "What?"
Yeah, it's like, why do we need? It's like when Supreme started making everything. Like
I don't want
Supreme
a
just started putting
Supreme
their
brick.
logo. Yeah, like a Supreme brick, Supreme underwear, Supreme money gun, Supreme
Supreme.
beer. It's like I don't need it on everything. Damn. And also, if these guys were supposed to be like fake, like a fake couple to kind of like make the mansion look less suspicious, why would they put the company name on the back of their wedding rings? Why wouldn't they just dispatch some guy to go to like a jewelry store and buy 2 wedding rings so it looks like a real marriage? Like, why are you putting your evil Illuminati company on the back of this person?
They'll never know.
I'm like, this is such an evil bad guy corporation where it's like, oh, they make everything. It's behind everything.
Guess you could say they're Resident Evil.
The residents are evil. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed Resident Evil. I thought Red Queen was a cool, villainous AI. I thought the horror, I mean, it wasn't really that scary, but there's some cool. I mean, the action's cool, and the horror visuals were cool, like
Oh,
the
that final
dog and
shot with
oh yeah,
so cool.
which that reminds me, dude, her like waking up and then walking out. I was like, what is it with zombie movies having this kind of trope for a character? They wake up out of a coma, they walk out of the hospital to find the whole city just destroyed. It's like this is how 28 Days Later opened. I think also that same year, which is 28 Days Later, the
Yeah,
opening is
same
the
year.
exact same as the Resident Evil ending. A person wakes up from a coma, walks out of the hospital to find their city just decimated by
And they
zombies.
came out months apart, it looks like.
Yeah. And then also that's the
Yeah,
opening of The
it was
Walking
4 months
Dead.
difference between these two shows.
Yeah, and they're they
It's
have the
crazy.
same yeah, their opening and outros match. I think that's so funny.
A year of zombies.
Yeah, and then Walking Dead. I mean, I know the Walking Dead comics did it first, but I mean that's how the Walking Dead comics start. That's how the Walking Dead
2003,
show
yeah.
starts. Yeah, so 2002, 2003, they really had that zombie media trope where main character wakes up out of a coma, walks through an empty hospital, and finds their city just destroyed by the undead. And
True.
that's so funny how much that is carried through. Because I thought it was just like 20 days later in Walking Dead, but now it's like, okay, I guess that was just kind of a thing.
There's a pattern.
Yeah, just a storytelling trope. And with that, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Talking Terror podcast. If you want to hear more from Talking Terror and never miss an episode, be sure to follow us on our social medias. We are on Twitter at Talk Terror Pod. Our Instagram is Talking Terror Podcast, and our TikTok is Talking Terror Podcast. If you are listening to us via YouTube, be sure to hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode there. And if you're tuning in via Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to follow us on there and leave a rating. It really helps us out a lot. If you want to follow me on my personal socials so you see what I'm doing outside of the show, you could follow my Twitter at Jacob at the Movie, my Instagram, Jacob the Harper, my Facebook page, Jacob Harper. And if you want to see me write reviews on Letterboxd, you could find my Letterboxd, Jacob the Harper.
You could find me at Ryan Rank on both Twitter and Letterboxd.
My Instagram is little with two e's dot imp, and then on TikTok it's dot little underscore imp.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much again for tuning into this episode of Talking Terror. We're excited to keep diving into the Resident Evil movies, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. Aside from Resident Evil movies, we also do have some other episodes on the horizon. We have some neat interviews coming up as we approach the spooky season, and we also have some different topical episodes that we're going to be working on coming to you guys. So yeah, stay tuned for all that. Until next time, we are Talking Terror. Peace out, guys.